Hello, besties. Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. Well, it's been a week. It's been one of those weeks where you are just excited that we finally get to the weekend, right? Like I'm really, really exhausted. I mean, the holiday season started and I'm over it already. I'm over it. I need a vacation from the holiday season. But last night I went to see Beyonce's Renaissance movie, and all I gotta say is like you have to go see it. It's an amazing experience. Hopefully, you go to a movie theater where people are actually turning up and dancing and singing because um it's like being at the concert. It's like actually being there. So if the vibe is right, you're gonna have one of the best time of your life just at the movie theaters. Um, I'm gonna say that the level of production. I know this is not Bravo related, but I just wanted to share my experience. I mean, the level of production of that concert, all the ideas behind it, the time that they took to put it together, how involved Beyonce is in the process. Um, how many times she said like, that she didn't sleep for days, or you know how hard it is to like get to that point of your life when you can do whatever you want with your talent and your craft, right? It's actually inspiring. It's actually very inspiring, especially for people like me who love to be creative, right? I run this podcast, I run my social medias. It's all Bravo related pretty much, but sometimes you have to see people who are successful with their talents for you to get that fire, like for you to get like, okay, I need to keep pushing and need to keep doing what I'm doing so I can achieve the goals that I want. Because it's really easy to feel like you're not moving forward, to feel like you're stuck. But and I have that type of like moments when I'm like thinking like, am I growing fast enough? Am I doing what I need to do as a content creator to do better every day, to deliver better content? Am I reaching new people? What am I doing? But then when I get to that point, I stop and look back, and then I realize that I have, done so many things that came from the hard work that I have put on doing all this, content creation. And I mean, it can be easily forgotten if you are always thinking about the next project and the next step and what's next, right? And like, am I stuck? uh but sometimes it's good to like take a moment, look back, and realize how far you had come from the moment that you started doing what you were doing. So um like this month I hit 20,000 followers on Twitter. Right now it's sitting at 20,300 and something. I mean, I started this, I mean, a couple of years ago, and Twitter has been like growing, my fast growing, social media, right? Um, and it's all because of you guys. So I really appreciate you all so much. And tonight we're gonna be talking about obviously our Bravo shows that we have been watching in the past week. And we know there's drama. We know there's going to be a conversation about topics of like highlights and hot takes of each and one of them. This week we have Salt Lake City, we have Beverly Hills, Winter House, Miami, and we also have Southern Charm. Each and one of those shows had so much going on, and I want to make sure that we touch on those topics. If you have any question, please make sure that you send me those questions on my social medias. I want to invite people to to send me questions that I can answer during the podcast. And I'm gonna be leaving links and places where you can comment with your question. Obviously, if you're here live right now, you can leave the questions on the live chat here on my podcast. Um, let's start with Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City has definitely stepped it up this season. It feels like it's the one that is delivering the most consistent drama across all the Housewife franchises this season. Um, I think it's also because all the cast is clocked in. They all are working hard to make sure they delivering different storylines from the their family perspective, from like the dynamics with the groups and within the ladies. And we saw different layers on this episode, especially Whitney. I want to highlight that for 1 second because it's a hard topic to talk about when you lose a dear friend. And it seems like, you know, that news of her losing her friend hit her really hard. And my heart goes to Whitney. I love Whitney. I mean, I know she's a very polarizing character. Either you like her or you don't like her. It's really hard to find an in between fan, right? Some housewife, you might not like them, but you can say, okay, I it's fine that she's around, right? When it comes to Whitney, I feel like fans are very divided. You either really like her or you just don't like her. I like Whitney. She's very sweet too in person. It's one of like the most like it's like such a warm person. Even though she is in snowflake holder, like you would think like the lady from Salt Lake City will be cold, but no. Whitney is so warm, and seeing that scene on the car with Justin really broke my heart because um it's hard to lose loved ones, either family or friends. It doesn't matter, right? When you have a connection with somebody, it's hard to say goodbye to the physical presence of that person. Even though you know, sometimes it's better for the person to go when they're going through a extremely, extremely bad illness, right? When you know that they actually suffering, they're not living anymore, they're suffering. So it's really hard to say goodbye to the physical presence of a person, right? Um, and this part of Whitney, right? The more emotional, the one that is broken is the one that is going to showcase at the end of the episode when it comes to Lisa and her, the interaction that they had at the end of the episode. Um, but before we get to that point, I want to talk about also Monica for 1 second. Like I was saying before, every single person on this cast is clocked in, and I do believe the big part of it has to do with Monica being around. Um, Heather was talking to Angie, and Heather compared Monica to Jensha. Um, I don't know if you guys feel that way. I don't know if you guys agree with that statement. I do believe that Monica belongs to to reality TV. I think that she's in the wrong show. I do believe that she's in the wrong show. But I don't think Monica is a copy and paste uh, situation with Jensha, because Jensha was like truly toxic. She was bringing the show down. She was people on the cast were walking around her like walking on eggshells, right? The fact that Heather compared Monica to Jensha, I also find it really strange because even though we all saw the toxicity that Jensha was, Heather was the one who stood by her side the whole entire time, right? Technically, she stopped being her friend the moment she went to jail. So For her to say that Monica it's just like Jen Shah, it seems to me like it doesn't make any freaking sense. Also, I don't think Monica brings the level of negativity that Jen Shah brought into the show and to the cast. That's why this show is thriving because we gotta be honest to each other as viewers, right? We have to understand that a show can be just like people that we like. There has to be people who are antagonists. There has to be people who go against the people that we like. So there's drama and the story move forward. So we're not just stuck in the middle, like okay, there's nothing going on, right? And Monica, even though she might be a little extra for the show, and so maybe even a little broke for the show, because that's the truth. Um, it's like yeah, I mean like they're putting Monica next to someone like Lisa Barlow. Both of them are coming from different financial backgrounds currently. I don't know what was Monica's situation before her divorce. I don't know if she was like financially stable, but obviously she's not rich, you know. Um Nowhere near any of the other ladies, right? So I can see how the viewers can feel related to Monica, but at the same time, we don't watch housewives to feel related to their situation. We actually watch Housewife as an aspirational show, right? When Housewife was created, that was the whole point, right? Um, Ladies with extremely amount of wealth that as viewers we wanted to be them, not like having the same issues as we have, right? Obviously we need to find some connection with them to like them, and it used to be more like the personal level stuff, like family issues, like drama with the mom, drama with like the husband, sending their kids to college, all the stuff that even though they are wealthy, every single person goes through and they can feel identified with. But when it comes to the money was always like opulence. Like if you watch Beverly Hills on season one, it's like crazy money. And Beverly Hills came out when the financial situation in our country was crashing. It came out with the housing crash, right? Um, so people were even though Bravo was afraid to release it because they didn't know if it was going to be like tone deaf. Uh, People watched it to see these like extremely wealthy people doing wealthy stuff that we couldn't do at that point, right? Um, so Monica is kind of like a wild card at this point. I don't know where to place it on the show, but unlike many people online saying that she needs to be fired, I disagree with that part because the show is doing great. The show is doing great and it doesn't feel heavy to watch. It doesn't feel like when Jen Shah was on the show where it always felt like a heavy weight was placed on the show. This time there is drama. They are fighting, they are yelling at each other, but we can actually digest the drama without feeling like we are hate watching a show. Last season of Salt Lake City, I thought it was going to be the last one, based on the rating, based on the drama that was happening, how you know weird the whole dynamic was with Jen Shah going to jail, with Heather Black Eye story, with how weak the stories were in general, right? So seeing that show coming back, I attribute that to the fact that Jen Shah was removed from it. The Monica and Angie got their snowflakes, and somehow they brought like new life to it, right? because that's another person that I really like. Angie is showing that she is a great housewife, no matter what people say on social media. I I think Angie is like old school housewife. You know, that campy housewife where like fashion is like over the top for no reason. Uh, that you can tell that they do have money and they have a very interesting family dynamic. So that's where I need people to tune in. I don't think that anyone on Salt Lake City should be fired. The problem is though that a lot of the cast members are saying that after the reunion they are not wanting to film with Monica, and I understand that. I know that it might be really uncomfortable based on what has been said. You know, lawsuits, allegation of stealing Lisa's ring, and all this stuff. But at the same time, Bravo has the ability to create so many storylines for future seasons that I highly doubt that anyone is going to be replaced. And even if the ladies are trying to get her fired, I don't think that's gonna work. We all know how that goes with Bravo. Bravo doesn't like ultimatums, especially when they from the cast. Even if the whole cast get together to ice the other person out, they're gonna find ways to make it work. We had seen it many times. Um, one of the moments that I enjoy a lot was Mary and Monica on this episode, because even though Mary said on the direct TV Kathy Hilton's Christmas event that just happened over the weekend, um, she said that production didn't invite her to many um, events after whatever happened. I don't know what the last event that she went to, but that's why she wasn't at Meredith. That's why she wasn't at NGK's. No, I mean Heather's, Pilgrim, or whatever, Pioneers brunch. That's why she didn't go to Bermuda. Um, so yeah, she revealed the production stopped inviting her to events. But we got this really nice scene with Monica. And she said something to Monica that I was happy that somebody said it. She said, with Lisa though, I feel like you both go back and forth. Like I feel like it's not just her. I feel like it's both of you. And it needed to be said because everyone has this really bad habit of always placing the blame on one of the housewives, obviously the one that we like. But we had seen both of them going at each other. And no matter what people say, I mean, Monica sometimes starts the drama and Lisa defends herself. And sometimes Lisa might make a comment and Monica takes it as offensive and she defends herself, rightfully so. So it's not like one person is putting the other one on this uncomfortable situation in a public space. No, both of them have gone at each other every turn that they have. And at every chance that they have a moment, they go at each other. So I'm happy that Mary said that to Monica to her face. Because, I mean, only Mary can do something like that. I like Mary for that reason. Mary is great TV, reality TV personality because what comes out of her mouth seems like she's not planning it. She doesn't seem produced. It seems like she is that way in real life. Like she doesn't, like sometimes we think before we speak. I think she doesn't think before she speaks. She just says what she feels in the moment. And that is very refreshing. Sometimes can come off as mean. Sometimes she make comments that kind of raise eyebrows, but that's what we want. We want people to say what they actually thinking, not like what they feel like production needs them to say, right? And maybe that's why Mary is not as involved in group events moving forward, because maybe production can play with her as like somebody to bring up something or start a conversation or start drama, because she doesn't play the production puppet. And I mean, I'm pretty sure production wanted to play some stuff moving forward, especially in the Bermuda trip. Honestly, I hope the whole entire cast that we have currently comes back next season. I know it's hard to believe that I'm saying this because for many seasons I wanted Heather out. I was wanting Meredith to be demoted, but to be honest, this group is working. It's giving Salt Lake City so much attention and so much press that I highly doubt the Bravo is gonna let anyone go. Um, Salt Lake City, Potomac, um, I will say even including Miami, those franchises came out after the OG franchises, right? Which are New York, New Jersey, OC, and Beverly Hills in Atlanta. Those are the five OG franchises, right? Those are the crown jewels of Bravo. But lately, I had noticed that the newer franchises like Salt Lake City, Potomac, Miami, they are delivering better dynamics as a cast, right? Um, I know that the war on the street is the Potomac is not being received so positively between fans. I'm enjoying it. It's not my favorite currently, but I'm not saying that it's like the worst either. I don't think Potomac has hit their Salt Lake City season 2 or 3 moment. Honestly, Salt Lake City had like really bad seasons back to back. Honestly, this season, that's why I'm saying this season is good because Salt Lake City had back to back really bad seasons. Um, Very important to highlight because I like the dynamics too. Lisa Barlow, Jack, and John's dynamic. Um, I had read people online saying that Jack doesn't like Lisa, that he just wants to leave like his house because he doesn't want to deal with her anymore. And I'm like, he is an 18-year-old kid. Last time I checked when I was 18, I hated my mother. I didn't want her around. I didn't want her to talk to my friends. I didn't want her to go nowhere near anything I was doing. Not because I didn't love her, but because you are at that age where you want to find yourself and find your identity when you feel like you are a grown up or in the process of growing up. So you want to distance yourself from your parents, especially your mother if you're a boy. If you're a boy, you want to do guy stuff. And your mom around you doesn't allow you to do that, right? Um, so I don't think people are seeing that side of him. Like he's just an 18-year-old kid trying to find himself, right? Coming out of being a kid into a young adult. And that is a normal process. Every teenager goes through it. Especially like currently, like nowadays, that process starts earlier because we have access to too much information, right? My 13-year-old niece act like an adult. She doesn't want gift for Christmas. She wants a check or she wants a gift card so she can go shopping, right? When I was 13, I mean obviously I got checks and stuff because like whatever. But also you want a gift. You wanted like the I remember when I was 13, it was all about like Nintendo and video games and stuff like that. So my parents knew what I wanted. So they will get me things, right? I was excited to get the present. Nowadays kids, they are too independent. So me wanting to be out of the house by 18, not having to deal with my parents like around 19 because I wanted to be an adult is what Jack is going through, right? And I'm telling you, I mean, he has also access to, you know, wealthy parents and he has a platform on TV. So he might not want to be part of all that stuff. and it's completely okay. I just don't feel like we should say that, oh, he hates Lisa Barlow, because that is not fair, right? I don't think that's fair to say, and especially on social media where, you know, words resonate. I seen Lisa's reaction on Twitter when people say comments like that, right? As a mother, you don't want to hear that, even if it's a lie, even if it's not true. It hurts. So I don't know. I based on what I see on the show, I do believe that Jack loves Lisa. I do believe that they have a very interesting dynamic. I think that Jack sees Josh, his dad, as like the person that he look up to. That's what a normal teenager do. Like they look up like their parents. For example, like girls tend to like lean more on their mothers at that age because they feel that they can trust them more. Boys at 18-year-old want to talk about like their sexual experiences. They want to talk about drinking and stuff. You don't talk about that with your mother. You talk about with your dad because we go through the same experiences. I mean, um, yeah. I mean, I just want people to see past the fact that you don't like Lisa Barlow. That's okay, but let's just be a little more understanding of where Jack is at, what age he has, what he's doing with his life, and how he's trying to find himself. I mean, going on a mission, would I if I mean I wouldn't do something like that, but that's something that he grew up in. I mean, he is Mormon at the end of the day. So he wants to do what the kids are doing at that age, go on a mission and do all this stuff. It's part of their culture, right? To do this like, religious trips and whatever. I have no idea about any of that because A, I'm not Mormon, B, I'm not religious. Like I grew up Catholic and I forgot what rituals we do as Catholics. I know we do some kind of communion thing, communion, baptism, and something else. I forgot the other one. Um, but I haven't stepped on a church like in 20 years, 25 years, a long time. So I respect people who are religious. I just don't think it's something that interests me. So for that reason, I can't have an opinion on his decision of doing what he feels like is what he needs to do to find himself. And it's funny because that is the reason why Heather and Lisa are doing better right now. They are in a better place, and I think it started because Heather was way too involved, but then she realized that she needed to step back and have more like open conversation with Lisa about her experience, but also listening to what Lisa has to say instead of always trying to talk. And you can tell that their relationship has improved so much to the point that we saw Heather defending Lisa at that Pioneers um, brunch. That's crazy. That is crazy because for the past 3 seasons they hated it from the beginning. From the beginning. What I'm kind of disappointed or sad about is the fact that Lisa and Whitney are having a little like a hard moment, because I love both of them and I see where Whitney is coming from. I see how Lisa's behavior might have triggered her feelings and losing a friend and her best friend kicking with somebody who used to be her best friend. So it's too many emotions. So I can see it. I totally understand it. But Lisa's reaction at the end with the microphone, I mean it was a lot, and then Whitney yelling and all this stuff. I hope that they get to a place where their friendship is not ruined. Um, and we are about to go into this Bermuda trip that changes everything, and I'm so excited because based on what I heard, this reunion is going to be explosive to the point that pretty much everybody it's like not talking to Monica. We see Mary hanging out with Whitney and Angie K. Um, who would have thought that Whitney is hanging out with Mary, like buddy buddies, right? Traveling together and stuff, like crazy, right? I want to talk about Winter House real quick. I just want to give like a little rundown. I know I love Winter House. I love that show. I love Summer House too. And I like to see how the Bravo universe just creates these like shows about people from different shows living together for like a couple of weeks. Um, I love it. I love it. Um, I'm just kind of curious about Danielle's and Alex's dynamic because I love Danielle. Danielle is one of my favorite people on Bravo. I love, love, love her. She's so sweet too. Um, but Alex is like a player. Like he is playing the game while like Amanda said it. She said Danielle is just coming out of a relationship, right? So her feelings are still very fresh, very, very fresh. And, hanging out with a boy, I mean, it's the ideal way to, get rid of a breakup blues, right? Like you just want to like get out of that funk and have fun. So I do think that her hanging out with Alex is positive for her to get done with her ex, but it seems like some of those feeling of like respect and um companionship are starting to play into the dynamic what it was supposed to be just a kind of like a trip hookup, right? um I am interested on that. Alex was flirting with somebody after he had sex with Danielle, like 20 minutes after. I'm like, boys, man, boys will be boys forever, no matter what age they are. I mean, they also are on a trip, so it's supposed to be fun. But I don't know. If you just had sex 20 minutes ago and the girl that you had sex with is like right there and you are flirting with all the girls, I'm like, dude, like, come on. How and why? You literally just bust. Literally just bust. And I'm the kind of person, I mean, this is just TMI. I'm the kind of person that when I not, I don't know what else to say. When I come, I don't want anything physical or anything that requires any emotional work. I'm like, I came, I'm done, I'm good. Don't touch me. I'm like, no. I just want to be left on my own. And if I'm talking to people, there is absolutely no interest on anything physical related, right? Um, so I'm like, dude, like you just like had sex with Danielle 20 minutes ago, and now you're here flirting with other girls. Obviously, Danielle felt, disrespected, and she reacted in some kind of way. But then at the end of the day, they end up going back to bed together, I guess. But and then on the other hand, we have Swords, who it's Swordsy. It's trying to maneuver, trying to date another Katie. This man can escape Katie's for sure. He was caught kind of like before having sex in the bathroom. And then he went into the bedroom, and Jason from Winter House, from the previous Winter House, he walked in and like, can I sleep in this bedroom with you guys? And they're like, okay, the romance is done. Honestly, I feel bad for Schwartz because the poor guy has not gotten lucky and he definitely need it. And this is right before the Vanderpump reunion, right? This Winter House season was filmed right when the scandal thing exploded and a week before the reunion that we already watched. So the poor guy needed it. The poor guy needed something fun in his life. And every time that he tries to do something, he gets caught or somebody interrupts. So I feel bad for that guy. I really like how we can talk about these shows as like a whole universe, like a multi universe, right? Multiverse, that's the right word, a multiverse experience. We have Swords talking about Vanderpump Rules reunion coming up. We have people talking about their own respective shows, like Below Deck and whatever, in a whole different show. It's like a whole freaking mind blowing thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Swartz and Whitney were on Watch What Happened Live, and Whitney revealed that Kenya was rude to her at the BravoCon 2022, and oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't come back to her. Lindsay from Summer House was there, and Andy asked her if she will date Schwartz, and she said that no, she will definitely not do that because even though she loved Schwartzy, she loved Katie Maloney more. So they're very close, and she said like, absolutely not. Let's talk about um, a quick note about Orange County. Orange County is starting to like send out all the contracts, and so far we know two things for sure. One is that Heather Dubrow is 100% back, and B, Taylor Armstrong is not coming back as a friend. I'm kind of sad about Taylor though. I like her. She tried, and I think she did really good. So I'm just sad that she's not coming back. Let's talk about Beverly Hills because this one was a doozy. Beverly Hills was insanity. Insane. When I say insane, it was THC in food, edibles, insane. We could talk about a lot of stuff about Beverly Hills. We can talk about Garcelle's dynamic with Jax. We can talk about the whole Kyle versus Dorit, Kyle versus Sutton, the whole Dorit talking about, um, you know, how Sutton is not like a good friend, or questioning, um, Kyle's marriage and stuff like that. And we can also even talk about how little chemistry there's between Mauricio and Kyle, and how much chemistry there's with uh Morgan, yeah. So I'm in this freaking roller coaster on every single episode, but this particular episode was even more intense because not only they have a lot of drama going on that people are kind of ignoring. I hate when people say there's nothing going on the show when literally there's a lot that we can talk about it for hours. Um, but I think the fact that we have some cameos from like Camille, Faye, Cynthia, Denise, at that dinner at Kyle's house, that to me is like such a like, I don't know, important. It's very important to me. As a fan of the House of Beverly Hills, I'm a day one fan. I consider myself like the real housewife of Beverly Hills historian. I have watched every single episode more than once. That's my core franchise. That's the one that kept me watching Housewives. Um, so seeing so many faces that I love, and they haven't been on the show for a while, makes me excited. And I do credit that to the higher ratings that we had this week, because having Camille back, having Denise back, I mean, like it or not, they are part of one of like the biggest drama that we have had in a couple of years. And Camille is an OG. Camille has been on the show since day one. Camille has been involved in many, many iconic moments. And the fact that she was right there with Faye, kind of reliving their drama, was hysterical. The fact that Faye move around like musical chairs, like she switched chairs to avoid to talk to Camille, to me was hysterical, right? I also find it really funny that Kyle, Faye's friend, sat her across from Camille. And I think Faye knew that it was done in purpose because Camille was like, of course she will sit me across from Faye. And Faye sat down and she was like, no, I'm moving. I'm not dealing with this one. But the Kyle and Sutton drama, it's gotten to the point where I find that really hard for them to turn around and have a friendship like that they used to. And I have been saying this for many seasons. I don't think Sutton and Kyle's friendship was that strong. I do think that Sutton has tried to be a friend to Kyle more than Kyle has been a friend to Sutton. Um, and you can tell by the way that they have been interacting, the way that Sutton hasn't tried to say out loud what she was hoping that Kyle will admit on her own. Because that's what people are not seeing. People keep saying that Sutton doesn't want to talk or she's trying to avoid it or something like that. But to me, it feels like Sutton doesn't want to say or put on into the universe something without Kyle saying it to her herself. And she feels like Kyle should share that with her because that they were supposed to be friends, right? Um, the fact that Kyle was laughing at Sutton sharing with her about her husband moving to London, maybe losing the custody of her kid and stuff like that, and then just trivializing the feelings into, oh, but you're gonna get more money for your allowance because your son is gonna be with you more often. I do think that that is, to me, really sad and quite um questionable because a true friend doesn't do that, right? Sutton is opening it up to you, right? About her feelings, about her experience on her own, hoping that you will say, you know what, I'm going through a hard time with my marriage because of this, this, and this. And I know that she shared that during the first episode, but it felt like there was no details behind it. And the ladies are very aware of the media. They're very aware of what people say out there. They are very interested on what the tabloids are talking about them, you know? So the fact that Kyle knows that the media has been talking about issue between her and Mauricio for many, many years, the fact that she doesn't want to share it with that with Sutton is what I think is triggering Sutton a lot. And now we know that there was issues in Paradise, and now we know that it was deeper than what Kyle tends to share, you know, on this episode. And also, I find it really strange and very hypocritical for Kyle to be asking for privacy when she has been the face of be open and be honest. Be honest. Say what you need to say. I remember the reason why Denise left Beverly Hills, you know, the show, was because she was trying to keep information from the show to be public because she was going through a custody battle with her kids and against Charlie Sheen. And the ladies on the show knew this is very very um, this is kind of like a almost public information at this point. Um, Denise was trying to avoid talk talking about her custody battle, so she kept saying that she was going to work when she was arriving late to filming, or when she was like telling the girls, "Oh no, I came from work." That meant that she was coming from the court, and she trusted that on the ladies, and they all agree. A couple of times Kyle pushed Denise to talk about she was what she was truly was doing. And that's when the whole like bravo bravo fucking bravo happened. If you guys remember, Denise was kept telling Kyle like, don't do this, like stop doing what you're doing, stop asking me that question, because they knew that it was an agreement between the cast to avoid talking about the custody battle. So for me, uh to give grace to Kyle asking for privacy or whatever, I'm not going to give her that, because she has been the one pushing people into talking about everything in their lives on camera all the time. We had called Kyle a ghost producer for many seasons for that reason, right? Um, so when she is put on the same fire and the tables are turned on her, then it's a problem. And that's where I find it very hypocritical for to watch the after show, and Erica trying to defend Kyle, saying she deserved to have her privacy. She deserved to have her privacy. I'm like, no, 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 no. She signed up for a show where she has been one of the biggest, storyline pusher on all the people, right? So now that she is the one being asked questions and being questioned about the whole thing, because obviously sometimes it's your turn on the show to be the center of attention, and it happened to be because you are having marital issues, and the chemistry between the two is very obvious that it's off. Um, yeah, I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong. I think she put herself in that position for the same reason that she put other people on that position. So sometimes karma uh, has ways of come back to you, and I think that's the way the karma is doing it, by having cast members that don't fall for the same trap that other member has fallen in the past, right? Because people in the past, um, every time that Kyle said, "Oh, be honest, be open," they will be honest and open. But now that Garcelle and Sutton don't play under the same rules, um, Kyle feels like she's losing control over the show, right? And we saw that on the last season too. We started to see Kyle losing control of the show, and the more uh, people are removed from that four fox five thing, the less power she has. With Lisa being removed, she lost a lot of power. The first piece to fall was Teddy Mellencamp. Then now Lisa Reyna. So obviously the four Fox Fives or whatever, the traveling pants friends or whatever, um, there were five of them pushing people out of the show, and that happened. They were pushing out anyone that wasn't part of that group or didn't follow, their instructions or whatever. Um, that's how we got, Lisa left for that reason. Denise left for that reason. Um, yeah, and luckily we got Garcelle and Sutton that decided to be like, no, we're not gonna play under you guys' rules. We're gonna do our own thing, and if you like it, good. If you don't like it, we are gonna talk about it. So, yeah, that was an intense dinner, and it continues because it just got to the end of the episode when pretty much going to continue, and I just watched the first 6 minutes of the upcoming episode, and it gets really intense. I did not like the way that Kyle said like that bitch, like when she was like mouthing that to Dorit. Um, because it reminded me of Kyle on the first season. That's what people need to do. People need to go back and watch season one of Beverly Hills. I remember like it was yesterday that the media didn't react positively to Kyle. Obviously, the person who got the more heat was Camille in season one. She was like the villain. She was the most hated housewife and all this stuff, which is funny because I love her. Um, but people didn't like Kyle much either because she was snobby, she was stuck up, she was a troublemaker, she was not a friend to anyone. Um, and then by season two, like season two came out, she changed her behavior. She was more like friendly. She was like more focused on being a mom, like trying to fix the image that she had out for season one. Because if you guys don't remember, Kyle was the one who outed Kim's alcoholism to the world. She outed Kim's alcoholism to the world because of that limousine scene at the end of season one. So that caused Kyle a backlash. People were not happy with her behavior, and she changed. But on the last episode, as I put it on my Twitter, we saw Kyle from season one back again. The one that was mean, the one that was very like really dismissive, um, not a friend to anyone. And I'm pretty sure it has to be with the fact that she's going through her own issues. But say that. Don't act like the other person is the problem when you are the problem or you are going through some problems at home that is causing your emotional, distress. So putting that on Sutton, I think, is unfair. Um, Somebody has to ask the questions. Somebody has to dig in because Kyle has done that in the past, and people celebrated that. I mean, Kyle fans celebrated that. I never been a Kyle Richards fan. I appreciate her as like an OG from my favorite franchise. I appreciate that she's still on the show. Um, but I never saw her as like the queen of Beverly Hills. To me, the queen of Beverly Hills was, and will always be Lisa Vanderpump because she is the queen of Beverly Hills. She was always the reason why Beverly Hills was created. Yes, it started as a Richard sister show, but Andy greenlit Beverly Hills when he saw Lisa Vanderpump's um, casting tape. It's a fact. Andy himself said it, and I can prove you guys that by simply going to my Twitter and finding that clip that I have posted many times in the past. Um, but yeah, I'm loving this season, you guys. I'm loving it. I think it's given everything needs to be give. Um, and the cast is perfect. We were introduced to Anne Marie, but I'm not interested in getting to know her, especially after what has been happening with her husband and the fact that Anne Marie came to his defense. Maybe she should have just stayed quiet and let him fight his own battle. A lot of people are saying that why is Erica still on the show and Mary's going to be demoted or not. I don't know. I mean, people are saying that she's going to be demoted. I don't know if it's true or not. I highly doubt it. She's too involved on the show moving forward. Um, but her introduction was very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. No confessional. Um, I mean, she's doing the after show, so I highly doubt that she's going to be demoted. But I don't think she's going to be asked back. I don't see her as a cast member that has the impact to come back again next season. Beverly Hills hasn't had luck with newbies. Like the last newbie that they got that it was great was Sutton because she was a friend of, and then she was promoted to a full time housewife. Um, because Diana was a mess. That was horrible. And now we have Emery that I'm like, why is casting not doing their job? They're not doing their job. It's horrible. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for what is coming. I think Beverly Hills it's thriving as it is. I think it's doing great. We don't need anyone else. I think the core that we have right now is amazing. We don't need newbie. I don't think we need Emery. Definitely not Lisa Rena back. If anything, I would love Camille and Denise to be friend of. At least friend of, because the dynamic that they bring to the show, it gives that like comedic relief that like Kathy Hilton was given, and the fact that we already know them and we know that they are true reality TV stars, like they have the ability to understand, what they're doing and how it works. I prefer them than bringing somebody that is just going to be a weird fit. And sometimes I feel like production picks random people and then they said, oh, this is a friend of Kyle, when probably they probably met once or twice. They're not real friends, right? If anything, give Faye a diamond at this point. Poor women. She was the original friend of. I mean, she was never mentioned on the show as a friend of, right? Um, but Faye is the original friend of Beverly Hills. She was on the show since season one, and um, yeah, I like Faye. Not more than Camille or Denise, that's for sure. But when she's around, it's messy. What's really interesting, you guys, is like she's defending Kyle on this episode, but we know that something happened because they are not following each other on Instagram. And when that happened is because something transpired. And I want to know what it is. I want to know what it is because that's the tea. That's what I'm interested on. Um, Real quick, Miami. Miami's doing great. I think it's good. I think it's amazing. But what I'm more invested on is the fact that Guerdy is hating on Larsa so much because Larsa couldn't keep her mouth shut about, her cancer. Honestly, you guys, I this is my third episode, I think, where we talk about Larsa sharing this information to the whole entire state of Florida. Like she told everybody. And Gertie asked her to please not say a word. I will never trust Larsa with anything ever again in my life, especially when it comes to like an illness that that is such a big scare, something so personal, something that you want to share on your own and on your own time, right? I'm happy that Gertie is defending herself, not giving Larsa, the time and paying her dust. At the end, when they're like talking, and she's like, "Shut up, Larsa, I'm not talking to you." I was like, drag her for me, hit her a little more. Come on, let's go. I love Gertie, and I don't think what Larsa did is in any shape or form like defendable. I still can't believe that Larsa has fans. I mean, maybe OnlyFans, they pay for the OnlyFans, but not like real fans. I don't understand how anyone would like Larsa. I'm still trying to understand like what is the appeal? What is so appealing about Larsa? If you are watching Miami and you like Larsa, my question for you, what do you find appealing? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. She sounds like a baby who like kind of like have just like suck on song like helium or whatever it calls, a balloon and that squeaky voice that I can't stand. And then you have the fact that she's always like sharing everybody's secrets. And then you have her, um, I don't know, like doing this to Gertie. It's not like she like shared like kind of like, oh, cheating rumors. No, this is something that somebody shared with you in privacy, in the privacy, um also ask you not to talk about it at the same time that this person is questioning if it's true or not. Because that's the crazy part. The crazy part to me is the fact that Larsa had the audacity to ask Guerdy if she was sure that she had cancer or not. Like, who says that? Who says that? Like, yeah, like she just went and how do you know, Guerdy? How do you know you have cancer? I like I was watching that. I'm like, I can't believe that just came out of her mouth. I can't believe that she just questioned somebody from having cancer. That is almost crying in front of you, like no sympathy whatsoever. And there's no sense of reality, you know. Um, so I'm happy that at the end of the episode, Gertie was like, "Fuck you," and don't talk to me ever again. um, yes, guys. Bravo has been like crazy when it comes to drama this week. Also, since we were talking about Beverly Hills, I want to mention something. I want to mention the fact that PK is trying to get involved in the drama. Um, he posted something trying to defend himself about a comment the Sutton made like 2 episodes ago, which is too late. I'm like, but it's too late. He only got triggered because Sutton said that for her to find like a date, she's gonna lower her like standards. I mean, if Dorit could get PK, she can get anyone, right? Meaning like she's gonna lower her standards, and PK got offended, and he posted on his Instagram that he wasn't stopped with a person in the car. So, why you lying? You're not Dorit. I don't want to date you and stuff like that. And like PK, PK, who was looking at Erica's vagina on season 7. The whole Pennygate situation happened because PK couldn't keep his creepy eyes to himself. He needed to look um, into like Erica's um, vagina because she wasn't wearing panties. So PK, who's also in debt and being robbed twice and pay some of that debt with the insurance money that he got, questionable, is trying to say that Sutton want him or something like that. And like, PK, you are not a catch. You are a little pervy and you're also broke. Sutton is doing just fine. She is extremely wealthy and she's having a good time. You just got but her that she said that she needed to lower her standards to find somebody like PK. um, it's I just love the drama outside the show. But I don't like when the husbands get too involved in the drama. Like Pika had this really bad habit of getting too involved sometimes, right? Um Literally like on season 7 when they first joined the show, um everybody was telling him to stay out of women's business because he likes to get too involved. Um And seasons later, he's still doing it. Like, PK, like, shut up. Nobody cares about your opinion because this is not about you. It's not about you, PK. It's about the fact that Dorit is also making comments about Sutton, saying that she might be alcoholic. So maybe tell your wife to like not say stuff like that. Then, if they don't want to be criticized, if they don't want to be um, having issues and stuff, maybe they should know what to say. So, Sutton saying that she doesn't want to date somebody like PK might be a response to Dorit saying that um, Sutton likes to drink since early in the morning. And PK, you are on a reality TV show where you know more than anyone that a lot of the drama it's for the show. So when you get too involved and too personal, it just looks a little weak. Like nobody. It's not funny. It's not interesting. Stay on your lane. Let Dorit and Sun go head to head. It's the same thing that happens in New Jersey sometimes, where, um, yes, I like when they're having a good time, when they're drinking and being silly, but when the drama becomes like center on the husbands, I'm like, sit down, sit down. It's not about you. We don't watch the show to watch the house was, uh, being like, um, I mean, the husbands being too involved in the housewife's drama. That's not what we watch the show for. Um, yes. And another thing that I want to mention about Beverly Hills is the fact that, I do believe that the show is doing so good because, uh Rena left the show, and that's just my opinion. That was my last take on Beverly Hills this week, because I know that I seen a lot of comments saying that, the show is missing Rena, but I'm like, are we watching the same show? I don't miss her whatsoever. Um, let's talk about Southern Charm real quick before saying goodnight, you guys. Southern Charm is having a great season. I mean, it's not just about the whole Olivia and Shep, Austin, and Taylor dynamic. It's the fact that it's actually flowing like it used to do before. Like the show finally found its footing again after a couple of really shaky seasons, right? I'm happy to see how some of these cast members are growing and, like making mistakes, but at the same time trying to learn from their mistakes, especially the ladies. Um, Leva was having a conversation with Taylor, and she said in a confessional that, yeah, when you go through a breakup, you make mistake, and you do silly things to like overcome the breakup, right? To like, um to make sure that you take care of yourself. Sometimes you make a lot of mistake, and if a man does that, it's okay. Like if a man goes around and starts sleeping around, uh when they go through a breakup, they say, "Oh no, it's okay. It's normal for a guy to do that." But if a girl does that, it's frowned upon, and the girl is like crucified because of that reason, right? And it's very true. You can even see it on the show and how people are reacting to this whole Taylor, Olivia, Austin, Shep. You know, it's not even a triangle anymore. It's like whatever messy relationship they have, incestuous relationship, like Patricia says. Um, is the fact that people seems to give more grace to Austin, not only in within the cast, because everybody is okay with Austin, and somehow it's Taylor's fault, right? Um, Even Austin playing like the victim card on the show, like when he went to his therapist or whatever, he's like, "Oh, she used me." I'm like, dude, you're a man. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, for real. Like, um, I don't like when all the blame is put on the women. Yes, what happened between Taylor and Austin, whatever happened, they say they only make out, and that can be true, right? Um, it definitely hurt Olivia, but it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. So for people to be forgetting and forgetting what Austin did and forgiving him so quickly showcase that the expectations are way higher on the women. And Taylor is trying just to like overcome the fact that Shep was a piece of shit. Shep was so disgusting to her, right? And also, if you watch the show, the way that he talks to her is so condescending. If you saw that conversation when he was trying to ask her what other countries she's been to. Like, and she's like, yeah, I can mention a couple of countries that I've been to, but okay. It's because he feels superior, because he feels like he has trouble more, because he feels like he knows more, because he has more money, right? And he sees Taylor as like this poor girl that he kind of showed the world to, and he is like, she was a nurse and she quit because he asked her to do so. You know, I wish Taylor didn't do that, because that gave him the whole entire power on the relationship. It's always um like, that shouldn't have happened. You don't want to give your whole entire life to one person. You need to have your own life separately. You have to have your own career. You have to have your own friends for your mental health too. So the fact that Taylor dropped everything for Shep, and then Shep went ahead and cheated on her and they had to break up. I mean, not for nothing, but I will be doing worse than what Taylor did. So I understand that what she did to Olivia, it's really like fucked up. Like that's your friend, but also they were already done, and now Austin is using this whole thing as like, oh, I'm the victim, and I'm hoping that Olivia lost me. I'm like, no, dude, you were the one who also was trying to to do stuff. To he's always hanging out with girls like at the bar and stuff. He acts like he's like this person that is in love with like Olivia when he was the one who like broke out with her and like played with her feelings, right? And now he wants to put all the blame on Taylor. That to me sounds like a weak man. So weak. Um, and I feel bad for Taylor because on every single confessional, most of the cast are literally talking about her, about this whole situation, right? Like she is the one to blame. And when people talk about Austin, it's like, oh, okay, but it's Austin. Like that's just Austin being Austin. Like no, he was there. He played the deed too. He's not a kid that the Taylor forced him into doing something that he didn't want to do. I'm just happy that we actually have a trip outside of the states when it comes to the Southern Charm cast, and I'm loving JT. Is he has this really um funny, quick jokes that is much needed in the middle of this whole entire drama. And I know that they are trying to have their own scandal moment, but it's not here in the same way because Vanderpump Rules was much bigger show. Ariana is a very loved person in the Bravo universe. Southern Charm doesn't have the same reach as Vanderpump Rules, but it is moving the story. It is moving the show back to the messiness that it was before. Um, I'm loving it. I love Southern Charm. It's one of my favorite shows. I always tell people like give it a chance. If you start watching it from the beginning, you realize how crazy, how problematic and ridiculous this show is. But it's a cast that um that you actually get to appreciate over the years. Like even though you hate some of them, you still want them to do good. It's like you feel like watching friends. You feel like watching people that you feel kind of like related related to, right? Um, this is like this is the good part about watching shows that are not housewives, right? When I watch Summer House, when I watch Southern Charm or Southern Hospitality, those shows like Winter House, I watch them because I do feel like I can relate to the cast. The I do the same stupid shit that I drink sometimes too much and uh do dumb shit or like you also have a job that it might not be a multi-million-dollar job, but it's a well-paying job, and you travel and you have friends that in this. And it's also like Summer House to me is very close to my heart because it's filmed in New York City where I live, so it feels more like a place that I know, right? um Southern Charm is filmed in Charleston, a city that I love, and I, you know, love going and having fun there and drinking and partying, and it's fun. So those places I love, and those places I feel like I feel connected to them. That's why I love Southern Charm and Summer House, right? So my point out of this is like I invite you, my listeners, my friends, my besties, to give shows that are not housewives a chance. Southern Hospitality starts this coming Thursday. It's the second season. If you haven't watched the first season, go watch it. It's an easy watch. It's like 10 episodes, I believe. Um, it's just silly, you know, situation. Just watch it for the sake of a fun watch. And the new season is coming out this Thursday. Um, I might be going to a watch party in New York City, so I will have some tea about it. Um, some Bravo Labs might be making some appearances, so it's supposed to be fun. Please give those shows a chance because we need more of these shows. We need more shows that are not housewives. Please, we have way too many cities. I can't take another city. I can't. It's too much. Too much content sometimes. Like my life revolves about around Bravo. Literally, my whole week is a Bravo week. But I love it. I love it, and I know that you guys enjoy that too as well. So that we are here for the Bravo of it all. Okay, guys. So just to remind you guys where to find me. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I'm making reels, you guys. I'm like finally putting my face out on like my social medias. Like I usually just use it on YouTube, and whatever. Like now I'm finally putting my whole face and image on across all my platforms. So I'm doing reels, I'm doing like TikToks, and making little clips like every other day about the shows and whatever. Since I can't do my podcast 3 times a week anymore because life got too busy, I do want to keep kind of giving you like little takes or like a minute recap of a show or something like that. So go to my Instagram or my TikTok or my Twitter, Martinez with Eddie. Martinez with Eddie, that's Marteanis. Martinez with Eddie, in all this platform, and give me a follow. And you can also listen to the podcast across all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and whatever place you listen to your podcast. I'm there. And please give me also a follow on my YouTube channel. I'll be here next week with more Bravo tea. And like I always say, besties, have a great, great weekend and week. And say it with me. Bye, besties.